Hi guys, I'm super excited for today because it's all about cozy bookish things. We're going to the bookstore, we're gonna read a little bit, we're gonna hang out, maybe do some puzzles, but I'm gonna let you know I have some good and bad news. The good news is we're hanging out together today. The bad news is we're on auntie duty. And I know it sounds fun. Trust me, I've been bamboozled before too, but there's two of them today. It's Nye, my niece, and then my other niece, Maddie. So I just want you to know we have company. It's probably gonna be a lot and we're just gonna go down together, all right? First thing we gotta do though is go book shopping. We're gonna go to the mall, hopefully get rid of them for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna go shopping. I do wanna say I don't wanna get any more than 5 books because this bookstore in particular, she's a little expensive. She'll a little expensive. And we honestly don't need that many. Like we already have a really solid TBR for August. And not only that, I feel like there are so many books that I already own that I really want to read that I'm not really worried about any new releases. But again, if something catches our eye, why not get it? So let's head on over and see what we can find. You already know what the deal is. Have you liked and subscribed yet? Have you liked and subscribed yet? Somehow I've done it again. I don't know what to tell you. Let me explain. I took them to the first place. That's not how you say that word. I took them to the first place, right? And when we got there, they had fun. I gave them an hour. I gave each of them $100 so I could be free of the shackles of my nieces, of the children. They had fun. They had a great time. I had a great time. Paid $200 for my freedom. Sue me. Then after that, I was like, you know what? Let's all go to the bookstore that's here at this mall. Baby, the mall was closing. Why does the mall close at 6 p.m. in my town? It's literally Sunday. And I forgot that on Sunday, literally the one day out of the week, it closes at 6 p.m. and not 8 p.m. 8 p.m. is still geriatric. 8 p.m. is still crazy. But 6 p.m. on a Sunday, bonkers. So now we're at the tried and true, the one that never steers me wrong, Barnes & Noble. I'm sorry. I wanted to go somewhere else, but on the plus side, the books are cheaper here. Maybe someone's up there like, you should stop spending money. I can't argue with them. So here we are. I do still plan on only getting 5 or less books here, but there aren't many. Again, my heart's set. I'm feeling full. We got a lot on our plate already. I'm feeling full. But if we see so, we see so. You know what I'm saying? Also, I got something there. I got something at Aritzia. Aritzia is so expensive. I could not believe the one shirt I got on sale was $70. I said, never again. Never again. I can literally look just as cute. Dare I say it's confidence. I can look just as cute in something from Aeropostale, Hollister. We're not at that tax bracket yet to be spending $70 on a shirt. On a top. Is it a cute top? Yes, it's a cute top. You know I have style. But $70 cute? I beg to do. And that was on sale. That was a 70. Okay, she said 50%. 50% off sale. I thought it was 70. She said it was 50. I'm not going to argue with this lady. 50% off. $70? In this economy? Y'all better keep liking and subscribing because I don't know how I'm supposed to afford that. And then remember, I paid the children. I paid the children off. I paid them hush money. So it's $200 plus that $70. And then we're about to go into Barnes. Yeah, we're not getting more than 5 books, more like 2. But you know how I am. I know how I'm at. I'm actively having a stroke with you guys. I need to get it together. Y'all know how I am. I know how I am. So I'm giving myself grace. But really, that's it. Thank y'all for coming. We had a fun time. Let's see what we do in here. gotta get out of here before I spend any more money. Okay, I bought some books. I didn't get as many as I had when I was in the bookstore because I thought there was a sale, but it actually wasn't a sale. So I was like, let me put this gosh darn motherfucking stuff back. And actually, these kids are mocking me. Do you want to see what I have to deal with? Yeah. Anyway, I'm taking them to dinner now because they just used me for money. And I picked this really nice place because it's...
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.
I picked this really nice place because it's right on the lake and it's gorgeous. The sun is about to go down, so I feel like this is the perfect spot. Will they care? No, but it's for me, really. Guys.
Hi. Oh my god, I didn't see you.
Later.
Okay, friends, it is the next day. I had fun with the little Rugrats. I was able to take them out at the mall. And then after that, at that little lake restaurant we went to, first of all, can I be honest? The food was not good. All 3 of our meals was terrible. And I tried, you know how as the adult you have to like set the example. So I'm like eating our food because it was a little expensive. I'm eating the food and I'm like, y'all better eat your food. We did not just come here just to waste money. At least try to eat your food, right? And I'm saying it as I'm trying to eat my food, and my sand was so dry. I was like it was so dry, and the potatoes are far overcooked, and it's just, the food was not good. And it's crazy because we've been here before, and the last time that we were here we also knew that the food was bad, but it was years ago. So I'm like, surely it was just an off day. Like, it definitely wasn't an every time thing, but this was really bad too. And Sinai, my niece, she got pork chops, and it came with this cornbread thing. It tasted about as good as you thought it was. It was very flavorless, cardboard-esque, and she hated it. I got bit by a mosquito and I'm very upset. Anyway, she got that, and then my other niece, her name's Madison, she got a burger, and she said it was not good. How do you mess up a burger? But to be honest, her fries were good. And you know what? Our appetizers were good. We got calamari, and Madison got wings. And yeah, I had to force them to try to eat it. They wouldn't eat it. And they do this thing where they just put it in the to-go box just to placate me, and then they never eat it again. I know that's what happened. They literally were laughing about it. So I just wasted my money, but it was nice to like hang out with them. Did I still want to kill them? Absolutely, but I always want to kill them. After that though, we got to walk around the lake when the sun was setting, and it was so beautiful. It was so nice. The water looks like almost like glass at that time, and I've never been that late, and it was just really nice to catch up with them. We got to talk for a bit, and it was just really sweet. I'm really glad that we did that, and it was nice to just get out of the house. This summer has been so brutal, and it was the perfect time to be outside because the sun was still out, but it wasn't like at its highest peak, and we were able to enjoy the warm weather without suffocating. So it was really nice. And then after that we just went to bed. I was so tired. It was way past my bedtime by the time I went to bed. I went to bed at like 11. Still got to go to the gym though. Really proud of that. And today I just wanted to hang out and talk about the books that we got yesterday. The first one that I got was One Golden Summer. This is by Carly Fortune. I did read that other book by her, which is Every Summer After. Yes, I did not like that book, but not because she's not a good writer. I didn't like that book because the main character, she was so insufferable. She did not learn, she did not evolve, and by the end of the book she was still the same person, and she was like really annoying to me. But I did like the author's writing, which is why I got this one, and because I heard someone that I really respect online say that this is her favorite romance of the year, and I was like, girl, that's all you gotta say. But this is about Alice. Alice is a photographer, but she always grew up loving the camera. And one summer she was at Barry's Bay, I believe, with her grandmother, and she took a picture of this kid. She didn't see him ever again. He was 19 at the time. Now fast forward now to her as an adult. She returns back to Barry's Bay when her grandmother falls and breaks her hip, and she thinks like, you know what, we haven't been there since that one summer ago. Why not let's go there and like have you heal from there? And when she goes there, she finds that 19-year-old boy is no longer a boy. He's a grown man who is a shameless flirt and sees her, and she's never felt seen before because she's constantly the one capturing moments. And so now the camera is almost turned on her. The camera of life is turned on her, and she is the subject, and she feels a little overwhelmed and a little scared for her heart because she's not used to being seen in this way. And it just sounds really beautiful. It sounds like the perfect apex of like literary fiction and romance, which is my favorite kind of romance. So I got this because I definitely want to give this author another shot. I just didn't like that first book. Then the other book I got is My Friends. This is by Frederick Backman. This is his newest novel. I wanted it in paperback, but they didn't have it, so we have hardcover. I'm starting to like hardcover, by the way. They're starting to grow on me. I really didn't like them before because they're not flexible at all, and you have to treat them almost like a textbook. But I'm kind of growing to that idea just because I'm starting to annotate more and I'm starting to read more physical books. I'm starting to like my physical books again, which is so exciting because my whole life I was a physical book girly, and then I went through my phase where I only wanted to read on my Kindle, and now I'm like making this full circle thing again. So this is exciting. But now it's not just like reading books that are hardcover or like tangible. Now it's actually writing my books, and I've never been that person. I like to keep my books pristine, but suddenly like I want to write down my thoughts, and I think there's something beautiful and intimate about writing down your exact feeling at that exact moment. What sentence made you think that way? And it's just really cool to see myself grow. It's funny how you make all of these limiting statements about yourself where you're like, I will never like onions, blah, blah, blah. I'm never gonna eat them, blah, blah, blah. And then a few years later you're like, oh, remember when I said that? And it's just so funny that you're constantly evolving, you're constantly growing, and I even surprise myself sometimes, and that's just really cool. That's a really cool part of life. So I say all that to say I'm not mad that this is a hardcover, but this book is a literary fiction about a few kids. It's about art and friendship. So it's about this artist or aspiring artist and her friend group and how they grow and evolve as her art grows and evolves. And that's about as much as I know, but there's one part on this thing that I wanted to read that I really liked. And it said, "The world is full of miracles, but none greater than how far a young person can be carried by someone else's belief in them." That sounds so good. I literally love literary fiction. That is my favorite thing. Plus this cover is so cool. You know I'm a sucker for water. You know the inner mermaid in me is like loving this. But you know what's funny? I own every single one of his books. I own all of them, and I have not read any of them. So that's hilarious. We really need to change that this year. Seriously. But that's pretty much it. Also, I realized I never showed you what I got from Aritzia. So I want to show you. Look at how cute this bag is. Very cute. I could be an Aritzia model. I only got one top because it was so expensive, but the top is exactly what I needed. Right? This is a vision. I needed this outfit because I'm going somewhere on Wednesday. Today's Monday, so in a few days I'm going to like this event, and I wanted to dress like fancy but cute and like casual because they didn't give a dress code, and I hate when they don't give a dress code, and I don't know anyone there. They didn't let me take a +1, so I really don't know what I'm walking into. So I didn't want to be overdressed, but I didn't want to be underdressed either. So this is where this comes in. It's a little cute business top, right? And then at the bottom, I'm gonna have regular light wash jeans and then black heels. And I feel like that would be a nice balance of everything. Casual, but not too casual. Cute, but like not like you're trying too hard. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I just wanted to share with you a book that I finished today. It's very short. You can finish this in 15 minutes, but it's really good. It was my first Octavia Butler book, and it's called A Few Rules for Predicting the Future. And the similarities to what we're dealing with now in America, literally insane. Let me read one to you. Hold on. The one that really stuck out to me was this line here. In this book, she just discussed how everyone thinks she's a pessimist, but really in actuality, her books symbolize hope because she's trying to warn us that if we don't fix these issues that we currently face now, they're going to get far worse. And she wrote these books that she's famous for years ago, 30 years ago or whatever. And the fact that they're all so eerily similar to the future or present that we're living now shows us just how accurate she is. And in this portion of the book, she talks about how if we let these things fester, this is what they'll be. And we have clear signs of history showing us that this is the case. I'm not just making them up. If you want to know what's going to happen the future, look at the past kind of thing. And on this page, she says, when I was preparing to write Parable of the Talents, I needed to think about how a country might slide into fascism, something that America does in the Talents. So I reread The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich and other books on Nazi Germany. I was less interested in the fighting of World War II than in the pre-war story of how Germany changed as it suffered social and economic problems, as the Germans responded to the bludgeoning and the seduction and to their own history, and as Hitler used that history to manipulate them. Sound familiar? And then this is what really got me. Hold on. She says, I wanted to understand the lies that people have to tell themselves when they either quietly or joyfully watch their neighbors ruined. Different versions of this horror have happened again and again in history. Wherever one group of people permits its leaders to convince them that for their own protection and for the safety of their families and the security of their country, they must get their enemies, those alien others who until now were their neighbors. Sound like something we're currently dealing with immigration? Yeah. I was like, girl, she been preaching, which is very scary because we're ignoring all the signs. But it's important to be knowledgeable because you can do what you can. Sorry if you hear the dishwasher. You can do what you can, even if it's a small act of some type of bravery or courage. And if enough people do those small acts, maybe we can create a change. That's why it's important to be knowledgeable. So that's why I read that book, and I'm going to continue to read books that make me uncomfortable or make me face the realities that we're facing now. So I just wanted to share that with y'all that I read that today. It's a very easy read, very quick read, but it's definitely powerful nonetheless. Now though, I kind of just want to wind down and read more of Ricky Wilde. I've been reading this book for so long, and it's not because it isn't good. It's actually amazing. It's just that I have not had the time to read because I've been trying to do so many other things. So I'm hoping that we can wind down today and really get some reading done. That would be fun. Now, audiobook wise, I've been listening to Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. That book is so good. I would recommend the audiobook for that. Kinsey Girl, she's the one who recommended it to me, and she is not wrong. It is really, really good. I'm liking it. I'm a little confused though. I think I'm about 100 pages in so far. It's a very thick book. I think it's like 500 or maybe 600 pages. And right now we're going between 3 different women during different times throughout history. So one is like from the 1500s, one is from 2019, so on and so forth. So we have a very huge range. And so we're getting their stories from these different women, and they're vastly different. But there are things that pulls them together. So it's like women who feel unseen, women who have to placate men and the patriarchy and all of these things. And it's very good. It's very good. My favorite so far, again, I'm only about 100 pages in. My favorite main character so far is Maria. She is nuts, but she's so cool and so unapologetically herself. And she doesn't listen to other people. She listens to her heart, what she wants with her life. And this guy. And she's very, very like independent and headstrong, and I like her a lot because I feel like 2 things either happen with me in books. Like either I gravitate to someone who is like me so that I can understand myself a little bit better, or I gravitate towards someone who is exactly the opposite of me because I'm like so in awe of them, or like someone where I like really respect how they are. And she's someone who I just really respect who she is. She doesn't try to apologize or placate other people. She's not like a people pleaser unless it benefits her, and I really like that. She's like, I'm gonna do what I need to do to survive, but if I had my own way, I would be living how I want to live. And that's really cool, especially during that time, because Maria is the one who's living in the 1500s. So obviously far worse than what we have now, rights-wise as a woman. And seeing her navigate that type of world, which she's so far ahead mentally, like she's so into the future mentally, and this town, this life, this society is so far back, and she's way ahead of her time. And so she's stuck in this parallel between a society who's trying to cage her and only make her a mother, only good for a husband, and having a career and wanting goals and things in her life outside of being a mother or a wife and things like that. And it's so interesting to see her balance these 2 because she has to for survival, but also like having this burning fire in her heart to be something or someone bigger than just her husband's wife. And I just love that. The other few characters, we're starting to learn a little bit more about them too, but again, I'm not that far in. So while I was washing my face and getting ready for bed, that's what I was listening to. I highly recommend the audiobook for that. I have been reading it along in tandem, but every time like I need to do something where I need my hands, like my face routine, or if I'm making dinner or something, I'll listen to that, and it's really, really good. I'm loving it so far. It says I have like 15 hours left on it, so I'll be listening to this probably all week, but I just wanted to say that. Now though, physical book wise, we need to get to It's coming to me. It's coming to me. A love song for Ricky Wilde. Now, I've been reading this since we came back from the beach a few weeks ago. I think it was like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. And I literally am still at the same spot. It's pretty terrible, actually. I just haven't been able to pick it up. It's weird because at all times I'm reading 4 books. I read one for my book club. We're currently reading Real. We actually finished it, which is super exciting. We're having our live book review this Thursday. I really enjoy that book. That was my first Kennedy Ryan book. So I read that with my book club. And then I read a gym book. So when I go to the gym in the morning, I always have my Kindle with me because I always finish my workout no matter what the day is on the treadmill. I try to do like 15 minutes or 10 minutes on the treadmill. And during that time I read on my Kindle. Right now on my Kindle, I am reading S.A. Cosby's Razor Blade Tears. It is my first book by this author and it is crazy good. It's about 2 fathers who lost their sons. They were murdered, and so we follow that story of not only their grief but trying to figure out what happened, who did it, who killed their children. And the caveat is these fathers were homophobic and their sons were married. And so they weren't in their lives. So they have a lot of regret, a lot of grief, and a lot of shame with how they treated their children. And so the way he's writing this emotion is putting you right in the spot of their ideology, how it failed them and how they failed their children. And so I'm feeling so many things at the gym, and I just started it like a few days ago, and it's so good. It makes me like want to stay on the treadmill for a little bit longer, which is the perfect kind of book, because then I forget that I'm working out. I forget that I'm sweating or I'm tired or whatever, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Then of course my audiobook is Bury Our Bones, and then my physical book has been Ricky Wilde, and I just have not been touching it. Every time I have a chance to read, it's like I'm either at the gym so I have my Kindle, or I'm doing other things so I have to listen to an audiobook. I haven't had a chance to just sit down and just read for the sake of reading without having to multitask and do other things. So that's what we're going to be doing now, because I really want to get further into this book. This is really good, and I know it means a lot to my friend Sarah, and I want to be a friend that just takes her recommendations, lets her know how I feel, and we bond over something else too. I'm in love with her, by the way. I'm in love with her and Kinsey. I know I talk about them all the time, especially often. We talk every single day. I literally just got off the phone with them. Like, we send voice notes because there's a little bit of a time difference, because Kinsey girl, she's in Utah, and then Sarah's in Virginia, and we're always very busy and all of the things. So we always send like voice notes, but we talk every single day, and that makes me so happy. Like, just talking to you about books, just talking to the internet about books has led to some lifelong friendships, and that means the world to me, and they just make me happy. So of course I gotta read Sarah's book. I love this. I love this so much. I love when romance has like something additional to offer, either like familial connections or their own personal growth or something like that. But this has all of that and then some. The magical realism in this is so cool. We keep going from the past to the present, and it's set in Harlem, New York, and it's just so cool. Ricky is a very fun character. She knows who she is, but she's also still trying to discover her potential, and seeing her grow through that, as well as trying to navigate this new city, because she's from Georgia and now she's in New York, trying to make her own name for herself. Seeing her balance those two things while still making friends and working through her social anxiety, and then this magical realism element and how it like plays with where she is currently in the present and back to the past. Chef's kiss. This is also the author who wrote 7 Days in June, and I heard that 7 Days in June kind of has like a little spotlight in this too. They're kind of connected in some way, and I'm really excited to see how that is. Now, I haven't read 7 Days in June in a while. I think I read that like 2, maybe even 3 years ago, and I remember really enjoying that book. I think it was actually, did we read that last year? I honestly cannot remember. It was either last year or the year before though. And I remember really liking her writing. I just felt with that like book, a lot was going on, and I know that that was one of her earlier books, and I think that this one is after 7 Days in June, if I'm correct. Let's see. Yeah, it is. Also, I didn't even know, but this coffee is signed. That's so cool. That is so cool. She is so cool. This book is so cool. We've had a cool little weekend together. If you want to do more bookish things with me, let me know down in the comments what else we should do. With fall coming up, I'm not gonna lie. I am ready for fall. Fall is my favorite season, and it's just something about being able to dress how you want, the weather being gorgeous. It's not hot, but it's not freezing yet either. And then the leaves changing and the pumpkin spice. Yes, I'm basic. Whatever. Say what you want. I like chai too. It's also chai. All of the things. And like fall always feels like a fresh new chapter. Jamal and I always say that fall always feels like a new beginning. And I just love it. It's the best time of the year outside of Christmas, you know, Christmas season. I just love the holiday cheer. It has nothing to do with anything else. But outside of those two things, fall is definitely my favorite. So with that, there's so many cozy hobbies we can do. And I realize with our videos, I want to start doing more things outside of the house because I want to be outside of the house more. I really do like nature and things. And I loved having that walk with my nieces. I was going to say my kids. They're basically my kids. And just being able to do more with y'all outside of the house. It's just, I am a homebody too. So it's hard. We're going to have to find a good balance of both. If there's any like cozy hobbies or bookish hobbies that you want me to do that we haven't done yet or we don't do enough of, let me know in the comments below because I would love to adhere. What I want to do personally, and then I'm gonna let you go. What I want to do for real is to do like chess. I want to play chess more and I want to crochet. I really want to do that. I just need to make the time for it. Like I need to learn. I'm still learning the rules of chess. I like know the rules, but like theoretically, I don't know them actually doing it. I've never really played with someone. So I want to really learn how to play because I think that'd be such a cool hobby. And I'm really trying to stay offline as much as possible, which is funny because my life is online. I'm just trying to find a good balance of both. And I just feel like I feel better when I'm not on my phone all the time, when I'm not on the internet all the time. And I know that's very common to say, but genuinely I feel like my soul feels better. You know what I mean? So that's it. That's what's on my consciousness right now. I'm about to go to bed. It's 10:11. I'm almost 2 hours late. I usually am like in bed by 8:30 p.m. but we had so much to do and I was just running late today anyway. But enough yapping, enough of that. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Please continue to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. You know what else I want to learn how to do? You know what else I think would be fun if we did? What if we did puzzles? I love a good puzzle. I used to do puzzles all the time as a kid, and then I picked it up again last year, and then I put it back down. So I would love to do a puzzle. I did a 500 piece puzzle. I think the most I've ever done is 1,000, but I was like a kid and I had all the time in the world. Don't have that now, but I think that'd be fun. I think we should work our way up to a 1,000 piece puzzle. That could be fun. All right.